For the first time ever, there are 5 event troops out at once in Clash of Clans for the Mashup Mania event. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you an attack strategy for every event troop that'll help you easily 3-star any base that you come across. Let's start with the Lavaloon itself, which is one of the strongest troops in Clash of Clans. Overall, this troop is really good due to its massive health, spawning ability, and death damage. This is the link to the army that we will be using, and I will have a link in the description. For our equipment, we're going to be using the Earthquake Boots, Spiky Ball, Giant Arrow, Healer Puppet, Eternal Tome, Lavaloon Puppet if you have it, and the Rocket Spear as well as the Seeking Shield. And just so you guys know, every replay in this video is versus a max Town Hall 16 in hard mode. To start things off, we want to snipe the Air Sweepers with the Giant Arrow. After that, use lightning spells to zap out 3 of the air defenses. Then use your King or your Royal Champion to take out the last remaining air defense. This will allow you to save some spell space. You can use the Royal Champion and the King to continuously funnel until you drop all of your balloons and your Lavaloons. As the Lavaloons are going in through the base, drop the blimp behind them. Ideally, you want to use your Eternal Tome on both the Lavaloons and the blimp. In this attack, I missed it, but honestly, it didn't even matter in the end. After that, literally use your rage spells and your freeze spells wherever your Lavaloons are taking the most damage. Guys, this is a very powerful attack, and it's even better than last year because we have equipment to use this time around. Next up, we have the Hog Wizard, which is a really good troop that has aura damage around it as well as really good normal damage. When we compare it to the Hog Rider, it does cost a little bit more housing space, but it does have more hit points, has a lot more DPS, and it does splash damage with its aura, so it's not even a close comparison. This is the army that we're going to be using with the Hog Wizard. It does resemble the Queen Charge hybrid army quite a bit. For the equipment, we're going to be using the Earthquake Boots, Spiky Ball, we're going to be using the Frozen Arrow and the Healer Puppet, the Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome, and then the Hog Rider Puppet and the Haste Vial. Start your attack by setting the funnel with the King and the Siege Barracks on one side and then starting your Queen Charge on the other side. Once the funnel is set through the middle, drop your Hog Wizards with your Grand Warden and your Royal Champion. Use your Warden ability once the Hog Wizards are taking a bit of damage, and if you have an extra rage spell, using it with the Eternal Tome could be a really good boost. When the Hog Wizards are taking a little bit too much damage, you can just drop a heal spell and heal them back up. After that, you just want to clean up the rest of the base with your spells as well as your troops. This attack really does resemble the Queen Charge hybrid quite a bit, so if you're a player who's trying to learn the Queen Charge hybrid, or hybrid is an attack that you really like, you're gonna love this variation of it. Next on our list, we have the Witch Golem troop, and personally, this is one of my favorite troops. Not only can it spawn almost double the amount of skeletons that the normal witch can spawn, but it also spawns a big boy when it's dead. On top of this, a little known fact about the Witch Golem is that the big boy that spawns from it is actually stronger than the max level big boy from the Super Witch. And at only 1 more housing space than the Super Witch, we're naturally going to be looking for it to replace whatever armies the Super Witch was in. So here is the army that we're going to be using for today's attack. This is the Golem Witch Smash, and the link is in the description. For our equipment, we're going to be using the Earthquake Boots, Spiky Ball, Healer Puppet and Magic Mirror, Rage Gem and Fireball, as well as the Hog Rider Puppet and the Haste Vial. Start the attack by setting a funnel and ideally using your Warden Fireball. I low-key completely forgot to use the Fireball because this base was so easy to funnel, but not all bases are gonna be like this, so you should have it and use it just in case. On the other side, you can simply use a Siege Barracks to set the funnel. Now through the middle, we want to drop our Witch Golems, King, Queen, RC, Druids, and literally everything that you have. I used an early jump here, but if you're dealing with the ring base, you can actually save that jump for later if you want. After that, you're going to rage the front end where your troops are, and you're gonna freeze the back end, and this will allow your troops to get through the base. And guys, the Witch Golem troop itself is very strong, so as long as you keep an eye out for those single target infernos and the monolith, you should be fine. The rest is history after that. I mean, you guys can see right here, I literally have an entire Witch Golem as well as 2 big boys still surviving at the end of the attack. Super effective and super fun strategy in my opinion. Speaking of fun, this next troop really meets that criteria, and of course I'm talking about the Barchers. The Barchers are like the Barbarian Archer and Sneaky Goblin combined. They're really good at farming and sniping collectors on the outside. On top of that, they only train in 12 seconds versus the Sneaky Goblin, which is going to train in 21. But this video isn't about farming, no, this video is about tripling with these units. So this is the army that we're gonna triple a max Town Hall 16 with. And guys, I'm gonna be honest, this is an army that is more for fun. You don't want to be taking this into war because there's too many contingencies. And I already know there's gonna be some comments talking about you just keep hitting the same base over and over again. And look, I'm just showing you guys how to set up each of the attacks. There's way too many attacks to be going through 3 bases each time. For our equipment, we have the Earthquake Boots, the Spiky Ball, the Healer Puppet, the Magic Mirror, the Fireball, the Lavaloon Puppet, as well as the Seeking Shield and the Rocket Spear. The reason we have these pieces of equipment is we're trying to do as much damage as possible and then use our army for cleanup. Start off the attack with a nice Super Archer Blimp. Make sure to drop your invisibility first, then your clones, then your invis, and then another rage. I got a pretty decent Super Archer Blimp on this attack. After that, the idea is to use your heroes to clear up the outsides of the base as well as get some of the core down. Now my king went around here unfortunately, but the Rocket Spear was really useful in trying to get the core of the base. On the other side, I'm doing a little mini Warden Walk on the top and I'm throwing some Barchers around the perimeter. And guys, the main thing with this attack is just to try and have a little bit of fun with it. Think of the base as a piece of pizza and you want all of your offensive weapons to try and take a slice out of it. Again, this is a max Town Hall 16 on hard mode that got absolutely crushed without max equipment. Now last but certainly not least, we have the new troop, the Ice Minion. This troop is really awesome because it can add a lot of value by freezing defenses for 2.5 seconds when it dies. When we compare it to the normal minion, it does have a lot more hit points, but its DPS is only slightly higher. To be honest, I don't think this troop is good enough on its own to be the core of an army, but it does serve as a really good addition to one of the strongest meta armies right now. So we're going to be integrating this army into the air spam meta, and I'm going to show you exactly why it's so powerful in the next replay. Of course, link is in the description. For our equipment, we're going to be using the Earthquake Boots, Spiky Ball, Healer Puppet, Giant Arrow, Eternal Tome, Rage Gem, Seeking Shield, and Rocket Spear. We're going to start off with the Giant Arrow special, taking out those air sweepers in the core of the base. Next, we're going to develop our funnel by using our king, which I ruefully put on the wrong side of the base here. It didn't matter in the end, but don't do that. Using the Baby Dragon and the Royal Champion on the other side, I was able to create a little bit of a runway for the dragons to pass through. After the funnel is properly set, we want to send in our dragons as well as our ice minions with our Grand Warden. Notice how I held some ice minions just in case I need some distraction or freezes later on. Then we're going to send our blimp through the middle and then use our Eternal Tome on it so it definitely reaches the town hall. Drop all 3 of your clone spells and watch as you spawn an insane amount of balloons. I like dropping a rage spell on top of this to get a little bit more extra damage. And afterwards, you can use the ice minions where you need them, like I did on this scatter shot right here. If you follow these steps, you should be able to triple bases easily by maintaining the same dragon to ice minion ratio, regardless of your town hall level. Now with that, you should know how to triple with every single event troop, but you might not know the best rewards to get from the Mashup Mania shop for yourself as a player. That's why you need to watch this video right here, where I break down the best rewards for all players of all town hall levels, regardless of whether or not you bought the event pass or you're free to play.